Hiya, welcome to Table Talk Friday, your weekly dose of D&D banter between three men in a bedroom. If you like their style, please give them a follow on whichever podcast service you prefer, and come back every Friday for another upload. Now, I'll send it over to them.
Welcome to Table Talk Friday. My name is formerly Seth Pittman, and today I am joined by one of my best friends, Sean Sexton, who has been playing in our D&D game for years and years at this point. Sean, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Really, I woke up this morning feeling a lot of good energy, had a cat sleeping right next to my head. Now a cat person. Don't know if you knew about that. But
yeah, I did hear through the grapevine and the cat tree, if you will.
Yeah, and the cat tree. So today, I just wanted to catch up with you a little bit. I feel like you and I don't get a lot of time to just sit down and talk. I get a good bit of time to talk to Zach and Drew and Patrick and Chase. Just I don't get a lot of time to talk to you.
Yeah, not so much.
I mean, next week is a big week for you.
Some might say, others may not. Getting married, which is both scary and fun and exciting. So I'm super hyped about it.
If anything, I feel like your relationship has been one of the most secure ones I've ever seen in my life. So I love to see two of my good friends from college getting married.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it surprised anyone. So
no, absolutely not. But it's exciting. I'm mostly excited to catch up with everybody because I haven't seen anybody in person in a while. And then on top of that, I messaged our friend currently has a theater show, Eric, the other day because I hadn't talked to him since we all lived together.
He'll be there. He'll be there.
I messaged him. I was like, dude, I hate that I didn't need to make it to your show. I'll see you at the wedding. And he was like, no problem. I'll see you there. But yeah, it's super exciting that we're going to get to actually hang out with everybody again.
Yeah, I'm really hoping we can pull together a in-person session because when was the last time everyone was in person?
It had to be the time at my grandparents', right? When you showed up?
Yeah.
When you guys showed up randomly at the door, which I was thinking about that the other day because you were trying to get everybody together in North Carolina and I had just started my leave. And I was like, What would happen if I just showed up at the door? Flew across the country, showed up at the door, I'm here just for D&D and then I'm leaving.
Yeah, I mean, well, didn't you guys think I was the pizza man anyways or something?
We did. We were like, who the heck could be here? Did someone delivering our pizza? And then, no, it wasn't. It was, I remember, I think Drew opened the door. Did I open the door and saw you and Emily and who the heck are you? Oh my God, it's Sean.
Yeah.
For any listeners who don't know, Sean lives extremely far away up in Maryland. We were all in North Carolina, and now I'm across the country in Texas. So I told Drew.
I'm still in Maryland.
Yeah. He's still really far away. I told Drew all the time back when we lived together. I was like, one day we're all going to be in different places. It's going to happen. He was like, no, it's not. We're all going to be right here forever. And now it's happened.
Yeah, it happened pretty quick too. Because doesn't Zach live pretty good distance?
He's he's like an hour and a half, 2 hours away now, I think, from Drew and them. Yeah. So that was when you were trying to get everybody together a few weeks ago. He was like, I'm really far off. I don't think I can make it.
Yeah, grown up and getting married, huh? Everyone.
We still got two. We still got two single bachelors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Zach's still single for another 6-7 weeks. Or not single, he's engaged.
He's engaged.
He's engaged for 6 to 7 more weeks, so he's not tied down yet.
Not yet. But it comes up fast. I'm sure you can attest to that. I proposed to Emily, or fiance Eric. I don't know what you want to call it.
No, you can call it whatever.
At the end of last year, and I was like, that date's so far away, and it just screams up on you.
And now it's next week.
Now it's next week.
No, I remember I was like, oh my God, you, me, and Zach all got married within a year of each other.
Yeah, pretty close together.
Because so I just had my first anniversary, and obviously, like military marriages are different than regular marriages. They're done out of obligation and less out of like testing the waters, right? Because if you want to hold a relationship while you're in the military, marriage is the only option on the table. Because you're all going to be in different places, you're never going to see each other again. Luckily, for the way mine worked out, everything's been perfect. Like it's all been sunshine. It's all been sunshines and rainbows ever since that day. Like no, literally couldn't have asked for a better outcome. But I saw 3 or 4 marriages fall apart in my like brief experience seeing people like all getting married at that one school I was at. It's like because you're there for so long, you meet a lot of people. So people were getting married a lot, and I saw like 3 or 4 just fall apart in front of me. And,
I'm sure that's a lot more common with the military.
Yeah, it's an extremely high statistic, and I got lucky. So
is good.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for a better outcome. Which I mean, you haven't met her in person, have you?
I have not.
So next week, that'll actually happen. But cool. No, that's all super exciting stuff. I remember, so last week I talked to Patrick about his experience running a brand new campaign for us. We had never had him as a DM before. And while we were talking about that, we talked about each of the players in our campaign, right? And when I brought up you and you, because I was mostly asking Patrick what his skills, like what he thinks his skills are, as opposed to like all the other people who have DM, because he's seen so many of us, everybody except for Chase has DM'd at this point.
Yeah. Which he's got to at this point. We got to complete the rounds.
I was texting him earlier today about that. So we were going through that, and when we got to you, I specifically mentioned, I was like, what Sean's biggest strength is in my eyes is the way he writes his characters and like the way his world kind of comes to life. Because I know you put a lot of effort into your preparation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a pretty good backstory with most characters that's pretty fleshed out. And so when like RP moments come up, I can like use stuff and kind of add a little more depth to the character that you bring into the world, which Sir Barnaby is going to come to life over the next few sessions, which will be pretty fun.
Sir Barnaby's crazy. So for anybody at home, Sir Barnaby, from my knowledge, because I don't know his backstory, I am literally just the plain guy playing along. From my knowledge, is this entity in a suit of some kind who his name is Sir Barnaby. He talks through a cup like this constantly, and all I really know about him is he says he's a human.
and that's all you need to know, because he is a human. He's a normal human man that breathes earth or air. Yeah, or air.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally all I know about him, and I know that he helps out a lot, and he's very strong.
Yes.
And I love it. Like the kind of building you do for your characters is something I don't really do, because a lot of times, one, I have barely any experience being a player.
That is true.
I have barely played D&D. I have always DM'd. So I have very little experience writing a character up. But likewise, I have found myself as one of those players who falls into the character after a session or two. Like, I'll make the character be like, I want to play this. And then I'll come up with a voice and I'll go, all right, the work here is done. And then as I'm playing it, the character gets made. Like, you asked me a question about my backstory. Yeah, you asked me a question about my backstory, and I just say something. And then it's canon. So that's the experience I've had making characters in the past, but every time I've had one with you, I guess with the exception of Beryl was kind of a blank slate when we first met him, right? We just knew he was a Kenku, and he named himself after an object he saw.
Yep. That's pretty much it to his backstory. I didn't put too much thought into him, both fortunately and unfortunately, because he ended up being a very fun character. But
he ended up getting the party named after him.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, I do feel like your biggest strength is the way you portray your characters. Now, I didn't have a pleasure of being a part of Theros. I was going through the worst moments of my life. But yeah, I didn't have a pleasure of playing in that campaign. So I wanted to get your read on how you feel that campaign went, as well as you don't have to go into like a ton of story or anything, but how did you prep for it? Everyone seemed very happy with it. Like, what did you do for that?
So the Theros book it's like, I'm sure it's like Spelljammer. You got your own book for the world. So the first thing I did was I read through like 70% of the book, because some of it's like, filler. And like if you're doing specific campaigns, it kind of leads you down how to make people villains and stuff like that. But in the Theros book itself, it lists all the gods, which there's a ton of them. And they're all pretty much based off of Greek gods. And so I made a bunch of notes. And so I was like, this person's AKA Zeus. And then like, so on. So it kind of helped me keep things straight. But with each of them, it provided like 3 or 4 myths or legends about each god. And Athreos, which is the god of passage, which ferries people across their version of the Styx River into the afterlife.
Half his Magic the Gathering card.
Yes. Yep. He is. I learned that through Pat. He was like, "Oh yeah, that person's a Magic."
I didn't know he was part of Theros until just now.
Yep. A bunch of Magic cards are Theros gods and characters. But one of his legends was like, one of the reasons he's the ferryman is he's looking for something. He's looking for like something specific. And I don't know exactly what it states, but I made it like that I'm forgetting all their names on the spot here, but the Zeus-like character, Helios is his name. He tasks him with finding very specific coins that in his mind he can never find. And then once he finds those coins, he'll be able to ascend to a different level of godhood than this kind of back and forth task. And so the hook, if you will, of the campaign was the party takes a path out of the underworld, which is called the Path of Phenax. And in doing so, you lose yourself. So when you escape, you have to swim through the Styx River, and in doing so, you forget yourself, like all your past, your name, and whatever. And so when we were making the campaign, I was like, hey guys, just give me classes and races, and I'm making your characters. And so like I let them kind of, I want my character to kind of be, good and like kind of angled this way. And so after they escape, they slowly find these coins that Athreos himself is looking for. So like down the line, he like eventually catches up with them, and he allows them to keep looking for these coins because it means he gets to ascend. And that's the kind of reason they're allowed to keep going. But each time they pick up a coin, they're not leveling up, but they are remembering the past and skills that they used to have, and they would always gain a level and they would get a vision. And so slowly I worked them up to like little bits and pieces of their lives, as well as eventually how they were killed and how they ended up in the underworld. And one of the cool things we did with that is based on all their deaths, I gave them permanent lasting injuries once they came back to the real world. So that was pretty cool to see the characters kind of try and work through them.
Yeah, those are like a lot of mechanics we've never used before, or like we've said we're going to use and then not actually used. Because I have found we've been like, oh yeah, if we take this much health, we're going to do these lasting injuries, and then we don't actually end up doing it. But it sounds very different than the games we're used to running. So what made you want to run this setting specifically?
I've always been a big fan of ancient Greece, and like, the Percy Jackson books probably got me pretty early. And then, you move on and like see the different cultures as you grow older. Like Sparta is pretty cool. And like, just being being in tune with ancient Greece is pretty fun. And hey, I'm going there on my honeymoon, so I'm a big fan of this.
So you just like Greek culture then, which is cool. I love Percy Jackson and all that stuff too. I thought about when we were first starting Storm King, starting in like a setting like Theros, and I was like, nah, we're just going Forgotten Realms where that'll be easy. But no, I wish that I could have been a part of that game. Luckily, now that I have more time, if you're doing your follow-up arcs, I can be here.
Yes, I want to do a follow-up arc because basically I kind of killed Zach's character's sister and then kind of maybe revived her. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know where it's going yet, but we'll get there.
Yeah, for sure. No, I really want to run my next arc at some point because we're finishing Patrick soon, so I don't know what we're doing next.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to running the next big campaign that we have, but at the same time I'm like, well, now that everybody has like the DMing itch, I don't want to take the wind out of anyone's sails by being like, I have a 3-year game I'd like to run, because as we know, I'll just keep running.
Yeah.
Like, so we'll definitely have to find a way to make sure that everybody gets to do the things that they want to do. We'll just play every night.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's one of our biggest issues is like this, 10 session campaign that we're going to run takes like 2 years because we can't all coordinate on weekends or whatever.
That's why I had to do Spelljammer the way I did. The way we've been scheduling it for the audience is I've scheduled it so that Patrick has his campaign going, and if one person can't make it, maybe even 2 people, I'll pick up the slack and I'll take over. That's only happened one time so far, because the other time I was the one who canceled.
It's been me so far that's been unable to play.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm actually hyped to play that character. He'll be challenging.
Yeah, my excuse for him not doing anything last time was that he was too slow to make it to the deck, and that he was napping in the hold. So by the time he got up there, combat was over.
Which is both in line with my character, so very believable.
And he's a pacifist, so like
he is a pacifist.
He wouldn't have wanted to be in that fight anyways. Okay, well, as part of your skill at making characters, I have a prompt for you. Okay. Specifically, and I think you'll enjoy it. So this is from user DizzyAge6817, and they say, I want to play Snorlax in my next D&D campaign. And I wanted to use one of the moves it learns, Belly Drum, a move that cuts in its half your HP but multiplies your physical attack by 4. But I think that quadrupling my strength until the end of the battle is too much. So I came up with always getting the max on my damage roll, very balanced, +6, plus strength modifier. But I still think it's too much. What do you think?
Yeah, it does sound like too much. It does sound like too much.
I thought this was fun because specifically whenever I was first starting out DMing our big campaigns, you and Zach always had like optimized characters. You would look up, like you would find good builds. You would really make the most out of whatever you created. And I found myself making the encounters way too easy at first. And then I was like, I have to do something about this.
Well, I'll be honest, with the Theros campaign, it was kind of the same way, because there's Zach and then there's everyone else who they have strong characters, but they're not min-maxed, right, if you will. So like I would kill half the party and then Zach's still there at like 99% HP, just hanging out. I'm like, we need to fix this. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the day that I discovered that giants could just grapple Zach's character was the day that everything changed. So anyways, this person wants to create Snorlax in their game. Do you think this is a good idea?
So Snorlax as a build would be fine, I think. I think you could do it. I think you could pull it off, and it wouldn't be bad. The bad part comes from where you're doing the belly drum thing and you're quadrupling your damage each.
But Sean, it's my favorite move. I have to have it in D&D.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you might need to settle for something else. Maybe. Gosh, I don't know how do you do that and not have it be.
I think the best advice I could give for this is, 1, they make Pokemon settings, so just play that. Or 2, you're getting really creative. You're along the right lines for what we would want for, if you're going to be into a Snorlax style character, that's fine. How is Snorlax here? And let's make him fit into the Forgotten Realms using the rules as they're written.
Yeah, which is also going to be a task on its own.
I mean, a big Earbolg barbarian who's extremely large and has a magic item that can keep him enlarged forever.
You could do that, or you could druid it up and eventually transform into owl bears and stuff like that, and kind of lean more into it that way.
But also my question is, why Snorlax? Why are we specifically choosing Snorlax for our D&D campaign? What's so enticing about this one Pokemon?
Yeah, I don't know, because he doesn't really do anything.
He sleeps.
Pokemon.
He sleeps.
Yeah, he does sleep.
Blocks the path.
Oh, I got a proposition for you.
Okay.
So what if the belly drum thing was almost like the Jigglypuff down smash in Melee?
Okay.
Where you do it's pretty hard to hit, so maybe it's kind of almost like Great Weapon Master, where you have this subtraction and then this great plus, and then after you do the belly drum, you fall asleep because you're Snorlax.
Yeah, or like when haste goes down.
Yeah,
haste goes down and you're stunned for a turn. So you go all out. This is your super move. I'm belly drumming, half HP, quadruple strength, everything. You go for that hit, even if you miss. It's like, all right, I'm stunned for the turn. I took my shot and I missed.
Yeah, I think that would be a little more balanced, and then the benefits of it go away for a little while, and maybe it's like a once per day thing.
I'm not gonna lie, I think this is a horrible idea.
I do,
but I thought, given your experience with character creation, you might have a fun idea for it. Now, the strongest character I think you ever made was Nuth. Just based on what I remember about him. And sadly, we've seen many of your characters come and go.
Yes.
But I do think you do a great job, like you said, of bringing about those huge character moments. How did you know, specifically, in the moment whenever I offered the Sword of Zariel to you and you wanted to take it, and in the moment when you traded your life for the life of your long dead wife as your other character, how did you know that you were going to be the one to do these things? Because you instantly picked up, I'm doing it. And then as also, when you guys helped out a god, got an offer of one act of service, you instantly had the prompt ready and were like, this is what I want to do. Now, if you remember my reaction at the time, I was like, okay, yeah, of course.
Well, so I'm fairly certain we ended a session in front of the sword or nearby.
I think we did.
I think the next session, we kind of picked it up right there. So what I'll say is that week or whatever it was me looking through the party and being like, oh, no one else really uses swords. I'm like, oh, I guess it's probably gotta be me.
Well, I guess knowing what the sword did after, it didn't matter who used a sword.
Yeah, that's true. I thought well, I'm really the heaviest martial character. I guess I gotta do it.
Okay, and then did you feel like choices like that enhanced your time with those characters, or did you feel like, man, I guess I have to do it? Did you feel obligated?
So obligated in not a bad sense. So you got to put yourself in the headspace of the character, which I try and do. And so you have this character that's been traveling and battling with his compatriots for a while now, and you're at the end of the road, and it's your life or theirs for success in the campaign. So it was his obligation to do that, but it wasn't like my obligation as a player character. Like,
Right.
I had fun with it. Like, this is Noose ending. This is how he ends. Well, I mean, he's an angel now, but that's how he flies away. So, so yeah, I mean that's kind of how I felt with it. So.
Okay, and then what about the other one when you traded your life for your wife's life and knowing you would have to make a third character in the same campaign?
Oh, that was completely unexpected. I didn't realize, like, I forget what exactly it was like some minor deity, right?
Yeah, it was like a minor deity in the Feywild that you guys assisted in retrieving, like a special ghost orchid or something like that, I believe.
Yeah.
They needed it for something important, and then when you came back, they were like, well, I'll grant you one favor. You requested that your wife be brought back to life. Or your wife and child.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the minor deity said to you, it's an equivalent exchange. In order to give life, I have to take life. Of which you offered yours up.
Yeah. Well, so in my little, like, I type out a couple paragraphs for each character, just kind of like their motivations and what's going on with them. And with, I think it was Adonis, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Adonis. One of the motivating things was he was gone from the city of El Terrell when it fell. And so he comes back to find the city gone. And then, like, eventually his wife and one child are dead. And so, like, in my head, like, the character's blaming himself for that the entire time. You give him the one opportunity to trade his life for theirs, he's gonna do it. Like, it's no choice. It's
Yeah, I felt like it was perfectly justified when you did it. It's just, It took me by surprise because I was like, because in that moment, I had forgotten to write a reward for the quest. So I was like, I'll just offer him something they want. Because I had the whole quest planned out, I had everything ready to go, and I was like, I didn't offer a reward. There was no reason for them to do this.
Yep. And so then my character's standing there. Yeah, kill me.
Literally, you're like. So a lot of this was made up, like, on the spot, because I thought a lot of the circumstances of it ended up being fair and making a lot of sense, right? I was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
And then the way it all went about, like, it made for amazing storytelling on, like, both parts. And I feel like I usually try to give as much agency to the players as possible. So, like, you bring something to me, I'm usually going to go, sure, unless it makes no sense.
Yeah, and I felt like everything there was fair and balanced, and it made, well, a good ending to Adonis as well. So I wasn't outside my character, and I was pretty happy with it. So
you do have the most deaths racked up, I think, but never because you die, because of a story moment.
Not in combat, non-combat,
right? Non-combat deaths. Just in the same way that I have the most arms lost.
Dude, that's crazy. Did you know Pat lost his arms in the Theros campaign?
I did. I remember reading those text messages.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that earlier today because I was like, because we just got your, like, robotic arm in the Syndra Luna campaign, and I was like, man, that's basically what I did for Pat. And then I was thinking about how, like, he just elected to have robotic arms and had them, like, severed. So
I'm happy with his I don't even know how to put it, but his willingness, that's it, to go along with everything, because we spent the whole session trying to find a solution to this problem, right? Like, hey, Gene's being taken over, we need to find a solution to this problem. Like, I prayed, I did so many different things, I had a little panic episode, and then finally getting to that point, I'm happy with his willingness to be like, yes, you can solve the problem.
Yeah, and we just cut off your arm.
Right, so, no big deal. And then he handed me
low price.
He handed me a bionic one. It was no big deal. Which I think the flavor of describing, like, spells coming out of the bionic arm is going to be a lot of fun. So
it is.
That'll be cool.
So in the Theros campaign, tell me what you think, because I'm not. Pat's running it the way he wants to run it, but, like, you basically immediately have full control of the arm,
right?
For Pat, like, his arm gave him bonuses eventually and extra reach and stuff like that. But he had to almost work on it like the same way we work on, like, magic items or projects. where like he does a roll at the end of the day, and it you're 25% closer to being able to fully use.
Yeah, I
your
could
arms.
inscribe like Saluna runes on it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool.
So that's how I ended up doing it with him, mainly because he elected to tear off his arms, and then that they were larger than normal, I think. Yeah, they were like longer arms.
Okay, I remember the one moment in the last session where he reacted in a way as the character where he was like, "Oh man, but you're kind of small. Anyways, here's the perfect arm for you." and I was like, "Wow, you really had that just sitting right there. That's awesome."
Yeah, Pat's pretty comedic with some of
he has a really good comedic timing on all that kind of stuff. I'm a big fan of it. I've enjoyed being a player. I like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with it.
Yeah.
I really had no footing when I first came in. Like session 1, when I was there, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then by like session 4, I was like, okay, I know what this party's all about now.
Mm-hmm. It's nice not having to prep, ain't it?
It is. It's nice knowing, hey, I just have to show up, and that's it. And that's it for the week. Which, granted, when I was running my campaigns, I have always been the DM of like, here is the skeleton of the session. Here's my 5 bullet points I have to hit during the session, and then just starting, because I do like I said, I like to give like 80% of the agency to you guys, and the 20% of me is knowing what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, I kind of did something a little different with Theros, where I typed out in my head how like the session would go, and I'd usually have a couple of big events, and then I would type notes for, like say you have a different new location. I added a note for like this. It has this, and this. These are the vendors, or so forth. And I ended up typing like, I want to say like 70 pages of notes for the Theros campaign, which I didn't expect, but over
how many sessions was it?
Let me pull up my notes and I could tell you. There was 8 sessions in the second act, and I want to say 12 sessions in the second act.
So it was 20 sessions total. I thought you guys played like 50 sessions without me in my head,
Not quite. We definitely struggled with getting everyone together. So
I'm definitely glad you guys did carry on, like, because I think if I had left and then the struggle was bad enough to where everybody was like, I guess we're just not gonna be able to play D&D, then I don't think we'd all still be talking as much.
Agreed, which is definitely why I jumped on, and I was like, hey, let's keep it going. So what are the next big campaign? I know you're talking about.
Okay, like, so I'll tip you in on a little bit since you're the only one here. Okay. So obviously we're doing Spelljammer right now. Now we're going to think about this in the way that the MCU has been set up, right? Mm-hmm. Where we built up and built up, we met gods, right? We built up, we helped gods, and we killed the Lord of Hell, to put it plainly. We've done the big deity, almost. Yeah, we've done the huge stuff from a 1 to 20 or 3 to 20, whatever it was. And now you guys are going to space to do some multiversal, not multiversal shit for a very short period of time. I don't want to take too long on it, because I feel like one thing that I've been missing is we have all these superheroes doing their thing, and now I would like to be back on the streets of New York.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I want to do Spelljammer because there is a plot point I'd like to hit in space.
In space.
Yeah, there's a plot point I'd like to hit up there, and I need everybody there for when we hit that point. But after that, we go to third big campaign. And what I have planned for it is, for better or for worse, you guys were in the middle of the Asmodeus fight, right? And one thing happened where he wasted a whole turn. Do you remember that moment?
I don't.
Yeah, so he was there. He was getting ready to cast a 9th level spell. And then, for all intents and purposes, it just fizzled with no explanation. Okay, so I'd like to follow up on.
It didn't work. There's no follow up needed.
I would like to follow up on that a little bit. Is it with him directly?
No.
Maybe, maybe not. Because we already had Asmodeus as the villain. And so I would like to follow up on that moment.
Oh, God.
Because
okay.
I still want your success in Avernus to feel like a success, because it was. It was a glorious success.
Now, is this based on a book of any kind? Or all right.
No, this is an idea I had whenever I did that moment. And so I need to get there. But I would like to start from like very bare bones D&D.
Okay.
So I'm thinking we'll probably go from like, we may start level 1, but we may just start level 3 because it's comfortable.
Okay.
But I may run like a little bit of one of like the book things, or I might just come up with a 1 to 5 myself. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we'll get there.
All right. I'm excited for it.
But yeah, we'll go from kobolds and goblins to gods again.
That's the natural evolution of things. You start out D&D campaign being thieves and hobos, and you end up being acquainted with gods as thieves and hobos. So,
have you noticed in like certain media when you watch it that like fantasy movies and action stuff are all designed the same way? like
what do you mean?
Like I watched all of One Piece, right? And I didn't watch it. I read it in the manga. But every single One Piece arc is the same, and it's the same formula that you use to run a D&D campaign. Where it's like, we're introduced to new place. Now we're here at new place. We meet a few people. This is where, and then when like the 2 or 3 little episode arc ends of like, we're doing this in this place, then it would be like, all right, that's where the session ends. And every time it opens up, like we get to the finale where there's the big boss battle, and then it's on to the next little quest line. And every time I watch it, I'm like, I can picture the D&D session happening in my head.
And this is the entire time while you're reading each and every page of One Piece is you're thinking about D&D.
Yeah. The only problem is Luffy ends every fight with one big hit, and I just don't enjoy that. Or he's losing the whole time, and then he's like, okay, I'll just throw all my power into this, and in the sky kills him in one hit, and I go, oh, okay, well,
we could have started with that.
Yeah, we could have started with that one. Like, come on,
start the fight with that next time.
Get emotional earlier on is all I'm saying. If you're gonna become the sun god, just do it.
Be a loose cannon.
New DMs here, gearing up to host an in-person campaign. This is by user SmartContract7575. My question for experienced DMs, which we both are, I would say at this point. How do you do your tabletop scenes? I subscribe to Incarnate, I don't know what that is, and have been building grid maps, and my plan was to print out and laminate the maps for my players to use the models they brought and tokens I've purchased. The problem is, printing them out at an appreciable size is getting expensive. The only other options I've seen are tables with built-in VTTs or projectors, but those options also seem expensive. Also, how do you keep track of combat? I've tried a few websites like D&D Battle Tracker, but it just wasn't working out. Like Initiative wasn't saving, etc. So I ended up having to use a pen and paper. This was very taxing to my bandwidth and negatively affected the combat. So, thank you to this user for posting this so I could take it. But I want to know your opinion on setting the scene for D&D, because by all intents and purposes, we played with just a blank grid map for the first 3 years.
Yep. So it's a little different for me to reply as a DM because we use Roll20, which is free, and I just save images off of Google for my maps.
Yeah.
So but I will say I don't think going to a store and printing out a battle map for each battle map is the best way to handle that. I think we used a laminated sheet of grid paper for most of our maps, and I think that was pretty effective, especially if you add in pictures from books, or like sometimes I'll incorporate pictures in my Roll20, like just, hey, this is, I'm not the best at describing things, this is what it looks like, and help you imagine a little more. Yeah,
I mean, I would say kind of the same thing. I'm trying to use as much experience from like when we used to play in college and stuff as I can, because we, for a long time, just had that one battle sheet, and I would just dry erase, dry erase, like I would just draw and then erase, and then we would keep going. And then us going backtracking would rely on memory.
Yep.
Which I get how that can be taxing, but I do think this person is overthinking just a little bit.
Yes.
Wanting to have like a Critical Role style thing where like you pull out your entire created like castle that you're going to have this fight in and set it down. Like laminating and printing these things out, super cool. And if someone did it for me, I would be like, wow, that's really cool. I really appreciate it. But given that we had some of our best stories we've ever told with a marker and some unpainted minis, I do think that maybe there's a little too much effort going into that. Likewise, because we use Roll20 now, I do the exact same thing. I like find images online, or I'll go through a Patreon or something like that and pick out the maps that I like. I'm like, oh, I see this artist. I'll go through their stuff and get it. And so now that we do that, I think that Roll20 is a very good place to run your D&D sessions. But there was also the time virtually where you had to rely on us on a webcam showing you the maps,
which makes it a little more difficult sometimes.
Very, very, very difficult. I did feel like bad at those times where I was like, I wish that I could show this to Sean. I wish that this could like, because did you feel like that inhibited your experience?
No, not really.
Mostly because I know you're a very technical player. So like knowing your spacing, knowing where things were at, which I guess we did have the little camera arm that faced down at the map for you most of the times, but there were times where it was just you on a laptop screen facing in the general direction.
Yeah, like I mean, it's not the best experience, but the camera arm definitely alleviated some issues with that, and then just being able to ask is like, and have you guys be patient with me not being able to see like a square in front of me or something like that is, I mean, it makes it more playable. So
yeah, I think the best advice I could give to this person is to maybe ask your players what they would appreciate. Because if your players would be okay with you just having a laminated battle map or one of these books of battle maps, like you just open it up and it's got the maps already made for you. They have like a dozen of them online. You can just spend your money on 3 or 4 of those and you're set for 3 campaigns.
Yeah, that could work. And then almost like, I feel like what you did while we were at college is like, to start, you have, 20 minis. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we're starting out with. And then like this month you get a couple of these specific characters for this next fight. And then you just kind of slowly snowball and have build up a collection. That way it's not every single session I have to buy a map and minis. Because that'll like, it'll make D&D expensive, and then it'll also not want you to play. Like you won't want to play.
Yeah, so. I mean, if you have a local LGS or something like that, local game store is what I just said. That's crazy.
Local LGS.
Yeah, if you have an LGS near you where you can pick up like the unpainted minis, you can always paint them later. Like that's perfectly fine. But if you have a store like that, it's like $5 you get 2 minis. So slowly work up your collection. That's how I ended up with shelves worth of minis.
Yeah, and I mean, to start, you're gonna have the same enemies. I mean, they're going to look the same for the first few fights, but over time, you'll be able to, like, I mean, Zach has his organized by, like, race and monsters and, like, stuff like that. So it just takes time.
And I don't think using Roll20 at the table sometimes is a bad thing.
No.
Where, like, if everybody owns a laptop, even a cheap one, they can open up Roll20 and see the map as it is, and you can either have the grid in front of you where everybody has it and they see like the version of the map you want them to see, or everybody just plays it on their laptop. The only thing I would say for that is like, if you want your players to be mindful, maybe don't make sure you're keeping their attention on you, because tapping out, playing another game, being on your phone, those things can take away a lot from the session. Go ahead.
On the topic of the tables, the TV tables, I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
I've always thought they're super cool, but then you just now have a table with a TV in it. So unless it's like super well developed and you can like close the lid over it or something, it's going to be large, bulky, and in the way.
Well, that way you can play all of Baldur's Gate 3 on your D&D table. Like you have it do the above down view, and you play you play the whole game like that.
I don't think I could play the whole game like that.
I couldn't, because you'd be leaning over the table.
Yeah. It's a good option for people with a lot of money, I suppose, and space. So
yeah,
not for starting out.
I think you could totally do that though. Now imagine, like, picture this: you have your D&D table, right? You take the camera in a certain area of Baldur's Gate 3 and zoom it out and scroll it over to the side and make sure the reticle's not appearing. Boom, you've got a battle map from this kind of area.
Oh, you think that?
Yeah. You all you have to do is do the top-down view and take it away from your characters. And then once you've taken it away from your characters, now you've got your virtual table.
Well, there you go. Just you need the small investment of $70 into Baldur's Gate, and probably a couple hundred for
a couple hundred for a big monitor,
table.
A couple hundred for a table, probably at least $1,000 for a nice table. You're not going to not splurge on this. Then you need a computer that can run Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, some small investments.
Yeah,
you'll be able to enjoy.
But
D&D.
But for the enjoyment of your D&D game, what, are you not willing to spend the money?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you couldn't have fun otherwise.
No, you can't. No. Absolutely not. You can't use the same laminated grid for
2+ years.
A couple years. Yeah.
Oh god, have you played Baldur's Gate 3 lately?
I have. Did I tell you what happened with my last run?
No.
So I've been attempting to beat it on honor mode, but like, I try and I'm blockheaded, so I've been trying to beat it on honor mode the exact same the entire time, and it's not working for some reason. But this last time I did beat it, and there's a known issue on Xbox, which I didn't know until I beat the game, is that if your game crashed at any point during the campaign, it can count as changing from honor mode to custom.
Because it's supposed to save when you close out, right? So it probably doesn't overlap because it crashes.
Mm-hmm. And so and I recalled it crashing a few times because there was some issues directly after patch 8. And so I beat the game, and I'm looking for that Xbox achievement to pop up, and it never came. So I'm going back through another time again.
So Gabby and I collectively have 3 copies of Baldur's Gate. I have it on my computer. She has one on her laptop that I got for her because I wanted her to play. We tried playing it long distance. It was very hard to manage. Now we're both playing it together on my PlayStation. And it has been some of the most fun I've had gaming in a long time because I know the story, right? I know most of the things that are going to happen. But for instance, we're going into the Moonrise Towers area, and we're about to do the whole assault, and she goes, oh my god, we have to go back and get Gale. And I go, why? I was like, why do we need Gale? And she was like, well, he's supposed to blow himself up here. And I was like, yeah, no, absolutely, we'll go get him. So we get him, and we get there, and the game never stops to tell you that, because in that section of the game, Elder Brain kind of goes somewhere else at the time, so it doesn't give you that opportunity. But I loved the thinking of, oh yeah, I mean, we'll just blow Gale up. I'm chill with that. And now he's on his whole vengeance quest for this crown, or information on the crown. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun because we very quickly started finding so much stuff that I never saw in the game, because I only played it one time all the way through. And then I started working on an honor mode run 2, but I haven't finished Act 1 because I've just been playing other things interspersed with it. So I'm going to try. I'm going to really try, but I don't anticipate surviving the first time.
So it's either or with my honor run campaigns so far. Either I die to the intellect devourer fight first thing off the ship, or I die at Ketheric, and then only twice have I made it past Ketheric. So, you know.
Do you feel like after you get past Ketheric, it's like smooth sailing?
Oh yeah, I felt like Ketheric, even in the mode that ended up being nothing. I mean, it was honor mode all the way through. Ketheric was still the hardest. The second phase of Ketheric was the hardest fight, even to the final fight.
Jeez.
Ketheric was harder.
I wasn't prepared for that because when I played on Tactician all the way through, I had Karlach just slash Ketheric like 4 times and I won. Like, she just great weapon master ran through him. But I know they have legendary actions, right?
Yeah, they have legendary actions, and the biggest thing with Ketheric is like he constantly spawns those skeletons with him, and then like they can also just choose to run up and heal him, and then you can't be on the little platform with him and like all this other stuff. So it is a very difficult fight.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
Okay. Well, I look forward to getting there eventually. Well, Sean, thank you for joining me on this episode of Table Talk Friday, a D&D podcast. For those who don't know already, you can find us on patreon.com/Table Talk Friday. We've got a bunch of perks over there. We do post shows. We do little meet and greets. We have a whole chat going on for the people that are in there. And I think most importantly is the post shows. I've been recording like just little diaries of me talking to the microphone for a little bit. Those have been going up. So there's a lot of extra stuff over there you can check out, as well as we have the whole podcast on YouTube now. So it is fully available. But you're not there right now. So thank you for listening to this episode. And with that, Sean, can I have Barrel from Barrel and the Giant's Bane take us out here?
Thank you for listening and or watching. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Table Talk Friday, a D&D podcast. For more fun conversations like this, follow the boys on whatever podcast service you prefer, and come back every Friday for another upload. And if you have your own inquiries, you can find them at tabletalkfriday@gmail.com. Thank you.